This box is sitting in your freezer right now, and what's inside is not what the label promises. Refined flour disguised as whole grains, sodium levels approaching half your daily limit before 9 a.m. Ultra-processed ingredients hidden behind words like wholesome and farm fresh. Canadians buy hundreds of millions of dollars worth of frozen breakfast foods every year, most of it marketed to busy families, most of it fed to children. We broke down the ingredient lists, we analyzed the nutrition labels. What we found will change how you shop forever. These are the 10 frozen breakfast foods Canadians need to avoid. Number 10. Frozen kids' breakfast items. Mini pancakes, character-shaped waffles, breakfast bites featuring cartoon mascots. Walk down any frozen aisle in Canada, and you will find an entire section dedicated to feeding children. The packaging is bright, the characters are familiar, the promises sound reassuring, fun, easy, part of a complete breakfast. But here is what that complete breakfast actually contains. Sugar is almost always in the top 3 ingredients. Many popular mini pancake brands contain 10 to 12 grams of sugar per serving. That is nearly 3 teaspoons before your child even leaves for school. Fiber content sits at 1 gram or less. Protein is barely 2 to 4 grams. The base is enriched wheat flour, which is refined flour stripped of nutrients and then artificially fortified. These products are engineered to taste sweet because sweet sells to children. But sweetness does not equal nourishment. What you're giving kids is a rapid blood sugar spike followed by a crash, often right in the middle of their first class. And here is the part that should concern every parent. Children who eat high-sugar breakfasts regularly show poorer concentration and more behavioral fluctuations throughout the morning. Studies consistently link sugary breakfasts to reduced cognitive performance in school-aged kids. The cartoon on the box is not a sign of quality. It is a marketing strategy designed to make children ask for the product by name. Companies spend millions researching which characters drive the most purchases. Your child is the target. Their health is not the priority. But these are not the only frozen items hiding sugar behind friendly branding. The next category markets itself as bakery quality. What is actually inside is far from it. Number 9. Frozen croissants and breakfast pastries. Bakery style, flaky, golden, buttery. That is what the packaging wants you to believe. Frozen croissants and breakfast pastries sit in the freezer section, looking like something from a French cafe. Canadians buy them thinking they are getting an indulgent but authentic treat. Here's the truth. Most frozen croissants are not made with butter. They are made with margarine, palm oil, and a list of dough conditioners designed to mimic flakiness without the cost of real ingredients. Check the label. You will often find butter far down the list, if it appears at all. A single frozen croissant can contain 250 to 300 calories. That is not the problem by itself. The problem is what those calories deliver. Minimal protein, almost no fiber. A short ingredient list on the front, a long one on the back, filled with emulsifiers, preservatives, and modified starches. And here is what makes these dangerous. They are easy to overeat. One croissant feels light, so you have 2. Maybe add jam or chocolate spread. Suddenly, you have consumed 600 calories of refined carbs and industrial fats with virtually no nutritional return. Palm oil, a common ingredient, is high in saturated fat and has been linked to increased LDL cholesterol when consumed regularly. You are not eating a pastry. You are eating a processed delivery system for cheap fats and empty carbohydrates. Real croissants from an actual bakery use butter, flour, yeast, salt, and thyme. Frozen versions use shortcuts, additives, and marketing. The difference is not just taste, it is what your body has to process after every bite. Real ingredients nourish. Industrial substitutes accumulate. But if you think pastry is the only breakfast item misleading Canadians with fancy wording, wait until you see what is inside those convenient egg pockets. The word egg is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Number 8. Frozen toaster scrambles and egg pockets. They look like real breakfast. A warm pocket filled with scrambled eggs, cheese, maybe some bacon or sausage. Pop it in the toaster, ready in minutes. The packaging shows fluffy eggs spilling out. Simple, satisfying, protein-packed. But here is what is actually inside. The egg in most toaster scrambles is not just egg, it is egg product, a mixture that often includes whole eggs combined with modified food starch, xanthan gum, citric acid, and artificial coloring. The egg is extended with fillers to reduce cost and improve texture after freezing. When egg is not the first ingredient, you are eating more starch and additives than actual egg. The cheese is usually processed cheese or cheese product. That means emulsifiers, sodium phosphate, and milk protein concentrates rather than real aged cheese. It melts consistently because it is engineered to, not because it is quality cheese. Sodium levels in a single pocket often reach 400 to 500 milligrams. Eat 2, which many adults do, and you are approaching half your daily sodium intake before 9 a.m. And the convenience factor hides something else. These products train your palate to expect a certain artificial taste and texture. Real scrambled eggs start to seem bland by comparison. You are not saving time. You are replacing real food with a manufactured substitute and teaching your taste buds to prefer it. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Cracking 2 eggs into a pan takes 3 minutes. Adding real cheese takes seconds. The time saved by frozen egg pockets is minimal. The nutritional cost is significant. Convenience is the excuse. Habit is the real driver. The next item on our list is even more normalized. Canadians consider it a breakfast staple. But what is actually in those golden stacks might surprise you. Number 7. Frozen pancakes and waffles. Pancakes and waffles feel like home. Weekend mornings, family breakfasts, a stack with maple syrup. It is comforting, familiar, and frozen versions promise that same feeling in minutes. But here is what the nutrition label reveals. The base ingredient is almost always enriched wheat flour, that is refined white flour with synthetic vitamins added back in. Whole grains are rarely present. When they are, they appear far down the ingredient list, often after sugar and oil. A serving of 2 frozen pancakes typically contains 4 to 6 grams of sugar before you add syrup. Fiber sits at 1 gram or less. Protein is around 3 to 4 grams. These are not balanced macros. This is a simple carbohydrate delivery system. What happens when you eat refined carbs with minimal fiber or protein? Your blood sugar spikes rapidly. Insulin floods your system. Then comes the crash. Within an hour or two, you are hungry again, tired, irritable, reaching for more food. This is the cycle millions of Canadian families start their mornings with. Children head to school on a blood sugar roller coaster. Adults wonder why they are starving by 10:30 a.m. And here's the part most people miss. A single tablespoon of maple syrup adds another 12 grams of sugar. Most people use 2 or 3 tablespoons. By the time breakfast is done, you have consumed 25 to 35 grams of sugar. That is close to the entire daily recommended limit before lunch. The homemade version is not much harder. Flour, eggs, milk, a pinch of sugar. 10 minutes. Real ingredients you control. Frozen pancakes save time measured in seconds but cost you nutrition measured in years. But if frozen pancakes seem like a sugar trap, the next item takes it even further. It is marketed to kids and adults alike. And it is essentially dessert with a breakfast label. Number 6. Frozen French toast sticks. French toast sticks are one of the most popular frozen breakfast items in Canada. Easy to hold, perfect for dipping, kids love them. Parents buy them by the boxful. But let us be honest about what these actually are. The base is white bread, usually enriched wheat flour soaked in a mixture that includes sugar, corn syrup, and artificial flavors. The coating often adds even more sweetness. A single serving of 5 sticks can contain 15 to 20 grams of sugar before you even open the syrup. That is not breakfast. That is dessert in disguise. Fiber content is negligible, often less than 1 gram per serving. Protein is minimal. What you are eating is fried, refined carbohydrates coated in sugar. The nutritional profile is closer to a donut than to anything that should start your day. And here is the psychological trick. Because it is shaped like French toast, because it is eaten in the morning, because it comes in a breakfast branded box, Canadians perceive it as an acceptable meal. Parents feel okay serving it. Adults feel okay eating it. But perception does not change nutrition. Your body processes these sticks the same way it processes candy. Fast absorption, blood sugar spike, insulin response, crash, hunger. Pair this with a glass of orange juice, which many families do, and you're looking at 40 to 50 grams of sugar before 9 a.m. For children, that can be double the recommended daily intake in a single meal. Real French toast takes bread, an egg, a splash of milk, and 5 minutes. You control the sugar. You skip the corn syrup. The trade-off for frozen convenience is your family's metabolic health. The next item seems healthier by comparison. It is just potatoes, right? Not exactly. What we found when we examined the labels tells a different story. Number 5. Frozen hash. Brown patties, hash browns feel innocent. Potatoes, crispy, golden. A savory side to balance out the sweet. Canadians add them to breakfast plates assuming they are one of the safer options in the freezer aisle. But here is what most people do not realize. Frozen hash brown patties are pre-fried before they ever reach your kitchen. They are cooked in industrial vegetable oils, often canola or soybean oil, then frozen and packaged. When you heat them at home, you are essentially refrying an already fried product. The sodium content is where things get concerning. A single hash brown patty can contain 300 to 450 milligrams of sodium. Most people eat 2 or 3 patties, that is potentially over 1,000 milligrams of sodium from one side dish. Check the ingredient list. Beyond potatoes and oil, you will often find dextrose, sodium acid pyrophosphate, and dehydrated onion treated with preservatives. These are not simple potatoes. These are processed potato products engineered for shelf stability and consistent browning. And here is the trap. Hash browns are rarely eaten alone. They sit next to sausage, eggs, toast, maybe bacon. Each of those items adds more sodium. By the time breakfast is over, you may have consumed 60 to 70% of your daily sodium allowance, and you have not even reached lunch. Health Canada recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. A typical frozen breakfast plate can get you most of the way there in a single sitting. Shredding a potato at home takes minutes. A hot pan with a small amount of oil crisps it perfectly. You control the salt. You skip the additives. The frozen version offers convenience at the cost of your cardiovascular health. Speaking of sodium and processing, the next item is one of the most concerning on our list. It is a breakfast staple that Canadians trust completely. But the health implications go far beyond salt. Number 4. Frozen sausage patties and links. Sausage is a breakfast tradition. The smell, the sizzle, the savory taste next to eggs and toast. Frozen sausage patties and links make it convenient. No preparation, just heat and serve. But here is what you are actually eating. Frozen breakfast sausages are classified as ultra-processed meat. The ingredient list typically includes pork, but also water, salt, corn syrup, or dextrose, and a range of preservatives like BHA and BHT. These are synthetic antioxidants used to extend shelf life. They are also linked to potential health concerns when consumed regularly over time. A single serving of 2 sausage links can contain 400 to 500 milligrams of sodium and 6 to 8 grams of saturated fat. That is roughly 30 to 40% of your daily saturated fat limit before you add anything else to your plate. And here is the part that matters most. The World Health Organization classifies processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen. That means there is sufficient evidence linking regular consumption to increased risk of colorectal cancer. Processed meat sits in the same category as tobacco and asbestos, not because the risk level is identical, but because the evidence is equally strong. Eating processed sausage occasionally is not the issue. Eating it daily, which many Canadian families do, accumulates risk over years and decades. Children who grow up eating frozen sausage every morning carry that pattern into adulthood. The alternative is not complicated. Ground pork seasoned at home with sage, thyme, salt, and pepper takes minutes to prepare. You control the fat content. You eliminate the preservatives. You remove the added sugars that have no place in meat. The next item sounds like a solution. A complete meal in one container, balanced, wholesome, ready in minutes. But when we looked at what is actually inside these bowls, the word balanced became laughable. Number 3, frozen breakfast bowls. Breakfast bowls are marketed as the smart choice. Protein, vegetables, grains, everything in one convenient container. For busy Canadians trying to eat better, these seem like the answer. But here is what the marketing does not tell you. Most frozen breakfast bowls rely on processed sauces to create flavor. These sauces are loaded with sodium, often containing 500 to 800 milligrams per bowl. Some brands push past 900. That is nearly 40% of your daily limit in a single meal. The grains are typically refined: white rice, enriched pasta, or processed potatoes. The vegetables are often minimal, included more for appearance than nutrition. The protein, whether egg, sausage, or bacon, is almost always processed and preserved. And here is the trick. The portion sizes look substantial, so you assume you are getting a complete, balanced meal. In reality, you are getting a high-sodium, moderate-calorie product with most of its flavor coming from salt and artificial seasonings rather than real ingredients. Check the ingredient list on any popular frozen breakfast bowl. You will find modified cornstarch, maltodextrin, natural and artificial flavors, sodium phosphate, and a list of stabilizers. These are not farm ingredients. These are industrial additives designed to make frozen food taste acceptable after microwaving. The word wholesome on the front of the box means nothing when the back of the box reads like a chemistry textbook. A real breakfast bowl takes 10 minutes. Scramble eggs, roast vegetables the night before, add leftover rice or quinoa. Season it yourself. You get actual nutrition instead of a sodium delivery system dressed up as health food. But if breakfast bowls seem like a disappointment, wait until you see what we found inside the next item. It is one of the most popular grab-and-go options in Canadian freezers, and the sodium levels are genuinely alarming. Number 2. Frozen breakfast burritos. Frozen breakfast burritos seem like the perfect solution. Filling, portable, packed with protein. You can eat one on your commute. Kids can take them to school. They feel like a real meal, but here is what is actually wrapped inside that tortilla. The eggs are rarely whole eggs. Most frozen burritos use egg product, a blend of eggs, modified starch, xanthan gum, and citric acid. The cheese is almost always processed cheese product, not real cheese. The meat, whether sausage or bacon, is ultra-processed with preservatives and added sugars. The tortilla itself is often made with refined flour, hydrogenated oils, and dough conditioners. It is soft and pliable because it is engineered to be, not because it is fresh. And then there is the sodium. A single frozen breakfast burrito frequently contains 700 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Some popular brands exceed 1,100 milligrams, that is nearly half your daily recommended intake in one handheld item. Eat one burrito and a hash brown patty. You are at 70 to 80% of your sodium limit before 9 a.m. Add a glass of tomato juice or a second burrito, and you have exceeded the daily recommendation entirely. High sodium intake is directly linked to elevated blood pressure, increased risk of heart disease, and stroke. Canadians already consume far more sodium than recommended, an average of 3,400 milligrams daily according to Health Canada. Frozen breakfast burritos are a significant contributor. Making a breakfast burrito at home takes under 10 minutes. Scrambled eggs, real cheese, fresh salsa, a whole wheat tortilla. You cut the sodium by more than half and eliminate the processed fillers entirely. The convenience gap is minutes. The health gap is years. But everything we have covered so far leads to one final product, the single worst offender in the Canadian frozen breakfast aisle. It is the most popular, the most convenient, and the most consistently problematic. Here it is. Number 1. Frozen breakfast sandwiches. The frozen breakfast sandwich is Canada's most popular grab-and-go breakfast. It is in nearly every freezer aisle. Fast food chains sell their own versions in grocery stores. Parents buy them for convenience. Adults eat them daily on the way to work. And it is consistently the worst item in the frozen breakfast category. Let us break down what you are actually eating. The bread is almost always a refined English muffin or biscuit made with enriched wheat flour, sugar, and dough conditioners. Real whole grains are rare. Fiber content sits at 1 to 2 grams. The egg is typically a preformed egg patty made from egg product mixed with modified starch, artificial color, and preservatives. It is designed to look like a fried egg. It is not a fried egg. The cheese is processed, engineered to melt uniformly regardless of heating method. The meat, whether bacon, sausage, or ham, is ultra-processed with nitrates, nitrites, added sugars, and sodium phosphate. Now look at the sodium. A single frozen breakfast sandwich commonly contains 800 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium. Some exceed 1,300. That is more than half your daily limit in one item eaten before your day even begins. Saturated fat ranges from 30 to 50% of your daily allowance. Calories sit at 350 to 450. Fiber is minimal. Protein, while present, comes packaged with preservatives and additives. This is the product Canadians trust most for weekday mornings. This is what busy families feed their children, thinking it is better than skipping breakfast. And this is what is contributing to a national pattern of excess sodium, ultra-processed food dependence, and long-term health consequences. One frozen breakfast sandwich is not an emergency, but one every morning for years is a slow accumulation of risk. And most Canadians have no idea because the packaging says wholesome, made with real eggs or good source of protein. The label is not lying, but it is not telling you the whole truth either. A real breakfast sandwich takes 5 minutes. Toast an English muffin, fry an egg. Add real cheese and a slice of tomato. You cut the sodium in half, eliminate the preservatives, and start your day with actual food. The frozen version is not saving you time. It is costing you health, one morning at a time.